Hey guys, Rich Lopez, your host with the Drop Time Traditions podcast. I believe this is going to be episode 152. I'm a week ahead, so Mark, I'm gonna drop this episode the following week because I'll be away on a cruise in mid January with the wife, so that's why I'm banking interviews. Um, Before we begin, I want to thank our supporters, which is Stickbow Country Arrows, Traps Feather Rests, Traditional Bowhunter Magazine, Sauk Trail Archery, stickbowsupplies.com, Whiskey City Trad Gear, wctrad.com, Jessie Savage Blacksmith.com, my favorite vampire hunter, traditionaljunk.com. If you need an old bow, contact those people. They're great. St. Joe River Bow Company and the ethicalpredator.com. And lastly, stickbowhuntsmx.com. Mark, have you ever hunted in Mexico?
No, I knew you were going to ask me that. I have not. I've talked to Pancho and those guys down there a little bit.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk Jerome into going down there and go down there and chase some javelina for a few days. But
Yeah, I'll be there next
so
month.
far, oh, you're going to have a good time.
I was there last year actually, and it was such a good time. I had to book a second. By the way, folks, this is Mr. Mark Sasser, the second partner in Bwana Bow Company. BwanaBows.com. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, excellent. We'll put at the bottom of the podcast on the YouTube channel, I'll put some links so people can reach out to you guys. And so give us a brief bio background. Where were you born, raised?
So I'm a California guy through and through.
Okay.
Was born in a small little farming town south of where I live now, about an hour. And born and raised down there, small town. And then learned a little bit about archery at 10 years old at YMCA camp.
Mm-hmm.
And then really started to learn about it when I moved up here to Fresno, where I live now. I started to learn a little bit more about it. There was a guy that I worked with at the car shop that was a bow hunter, and started getting into it that way, and just listening to stories, looking at pictures and everything. And that would have been in '89. And so then TBM came out in '89, and saw that at the grocery store, and started thumbing through that, and was like, oh man, this is what I want to do. And I'd always been like a Louis L'Amour fan, and like all the adventure books for Alaska and all that kind of stuff. So I was always into that. That was my thing. And so when I saw TBM the first time, I want to say it was the copy or the issue that had the mountain goat on the front.
That's the premier issue. And by the way, that's highly collectible.
I used to have it. But I saw that, and it just sucked me in. And so I've been a trad guy from the beginning, and from '89 until today, it's been my gig. So, started out very humbly, was, difficult times back then, trying to learn, had to order a book. Not like today, you can go search something on YouTube and have an answer in 2 seconds. And, back then we had to mail for everything. But it took a while, and I was lucky. I met Jerome in probably 1991. So I'd been doing it for a little over a year. And Jerome and I met at the archery shop, and then we met again out in public, and he invited me to go pig hunting. And we've been buddies ever since. Right.
So just geographically, for my personal reasons, where is Fresno in relation to LA?
So I'm 4 hours north of LA.
Okay.
I'm 3 hours south of Sacramento. So we're right in the middle of the state.
Okay.
And so it's pretty awesome. We can be in the foothills from my house, or where Drum lives across town. We can be in the foothills in 15, 20 minutes. And we can be in the big mountains in a couple hours up at 9,000 feet.
Yep.
Or we can be, at the ocean in 2.5 hours. So, we've got a lot around us to do, and it's pretty central. They call it Central California for a reason. Mm-hmm. And so, there's a lot of great things about it. there's a lot of politically not great things about it, but
Yeah.
the good
But
outweighs the bad.
yeah, people in California seem to, the people that I associate with and you and I
Yeah,
associate with that
yeah,
live in that state just ignore all the political BS and
yeah.
just go about their day.
Oh yeah,
Uh, I got a buddy of mine that lives up north, and he's a physical therapist, Jim. Um, and he's he's hunting pigs, he's hunting deer, he's just a hunting fool.
yeah,
And he just ignores everything below that area that he lives in. Just
yeah,
does his thing.
yeah. And
Uh,
that's the
I,
thing.
I spent time in California right after high school. My parents and I flew to California to visit some cousins, and I stayed.
Okay.
And I spent some time there. I actually saw Van Halen play in a garage
Oh wow.
before they became famous, before the first
Yeah.
album. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, my cousin took me, and I was like, "That this is cool, dude." It's Burbank, so I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the Whiskey a
That's
Go
awesome.
Go, all those
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. I'm
So
familiar. That's
saw
awesome.
saw some weird stuff, but that's cool. I like
Oh,
weirdness.
I bet.
Uh, so were you always a traditional bow hunter or archer, or
Yeah,
did you dabble?
I dabbled in 2006.
Mm,
So by that point, I'm 15 years in plus and had been, somewhat successful, but the first 5 or 6 years was really hard. Um, and Western hunting's hard to start, just Western hunting's hard to begin with. And then
sure.
starting out, not knowing anything and shooting trad, it was difficult. But in '06, I had a number of years under my belt and I drew a really good deer tag. And so my wife at the time, she was like, you've got this tag, you should maximize it. So I went down and I bought a Hoyt, and I bought the compound and the
Yeah.
sights and all the shit that goes with that. And I practiced with it all summer. And,
Was that the Hoyt that had the curved skeletal riser?
it might have been.
I think
It
I
was,
had one.
yeah, it might have been. Uh, I took it out, and a couple days before the hunt, I drive 5 hours to the trailhead. I hike in 3 or 4 miles, get all set up. And the first day of the hunt, I broke it. And all the
Ah,
one of the screws for the sight mount back then they had the three or the two screws that held the sight on, and the top screw fell out, so the sight
yeah.
rotated down. You don't have any screws in the backcountry, so I hiked back out, drove home, got my recurve, drove back and killed a little buck and sold the
Hey,
compound.
yeah,
So
that's it. That's it. Yep.
and like these things, the worst thing I've ever had break on a trad bow is had a mouse eat a string, and I always carry an extra string, so I just put a new string on it.
Yeah. Back to work.
Yeah, right back, just keep on rolling. So
Yeah, that's
yeah, that,
awesome.
that was my only dabbling with a non-traditional bow, and it was short-lived.
Yeah, I know a lot of the guys that I know that got into trad back in the early 80s, late 80s, into the early 90s. At one time or another, had a compound or shot a compound. I know
Yeah,
I did. When I first started out, I started out with, semi recurve. Then I was able to buy my first bow with my paper route money, which is still hanging on the wall behind me. It's a 1959
nice.
Kodiak, and
Oh, nice.
I'm the second owner. And
Yeah, I'd like to have
that's
one of those. That's a bow to have right there.
yeah, so that's gonna, I don't know, I'm getting cremated. I don't want to be cremated with it. So I think I'm gonna give it to
Yeah,
somebody that deserves it,
yeah, there
um,
you go.
which I'm gonna do with a lot of my stuff here.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, then I got the compound bite, and I shot competitively with it, and then I started working for a guy, Len Cardinal, who's in the Bull Hunting Hall of Fame.
yeah,
Um, and he says, "Hey, Richie, I'm endorsing. I'm signed up with Stemler Archery. Why don't you try one of my signature takedowns?"
yeah,
And it was pretty clubby in the hand. It was like a two by
yeah.
four,
Okay.
but it shot pretty good for
Yeah,
a very affordable takedown recurve at the time. This
yeah.
is probably like early '80s,
Okay.
and I killed a deer with it. I was like, okay, this is cool. There's something to
Yeah,
this. And then I realized you want to be more successful, you can become a better hunter. You
yeah,
got to let them come to you. You got to
Oh, for
work your
sure.
magic. And
Yeah.
it took me forever to figure out wind and scent and all that other stuff. But I mean, that's reading books. There was no
Yeah.
internet back then.
Yeah.
Now, you Western guys, from what I understand, your shots are pretty far, aren't they?
They can be. Yeah. So it's different, and we talk a lot about woodsmanship,
Hmm.
and it's equally important out here. However, it's like a different degree, right?
Hmm.
So like we all go to college to learn this thing called woodsmanship, but out west you're taking a couple of different classes than the eastern guys, right?
Hmm.
um, Land nav, you're actually having to do some pretty serious land navigation. Wind is obviously a big deal, but you're dealing with 1,000 foot differences, right? So the drops are a lot bigger on, where you have to watch where your wind is cooling and coming from, and so there's small differences, but the average compound guy is probably shooting like 45, 50. Um, I shoot when I was younger, I didn't because I wasn't a very good shot. It was only after I really started doing like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu that I really got in and refined my techniques. Um, because, the time I spent training that, it's all application of technique. And then I took all of that methodology and put it into shooting a trad bow. And so now it's application of technique there. Now I'm a really good shot with the trad bow. But I used to be probably my average shot was 12 to 15 yards on the ground.
Hmm.
And I would do a lot of ambush, and I would call it like spot and ambush, and not quite spot and stalk, but get in there and let them come to you. And now I'm a pretty good shot. So now, like, I shot a buck on Kodiak at 36. I shot a doe at Kodiak at like 41, 42 heart shotter. My my big muley 2 years ago, I think I shot that one at 35 or so, and then but my point on, so I shoot Eastern Gap, a lot. So I shoot
Yeah.
instinctive, right? I
Yeah.
shoot instinctive most of the time. But if a tournament or an animal is going to allow me to know what the yardage is, I'm going to gap shoot it. So I
Okay.
do both, right? And that buck let me range him, and he was at 35. I had to hit that one, but my point on, I've got my bows. All of my bows are set up where my point on's right at about 28 yards,
Okay.
and so the last 5 or 6 years I've shot a lot of stuff at 28 yards.
Okay.
It's like, oh, there you are, and it's easy. It's a one pin sight at that point.
Hmm.
Um,
Split finger or three under?
I can shoot both.
Mhm.
I shoot competitively three under. So if I'm
Okay.
shooting any of the tournaments, I'm shooting three under. If I'm in the woods and I'm hunting up close, I'm hunting three under. But if I had to take a follow up shot that was out there a ways, I would go to split finger and
Okay.
shoot it that way. Gives you a longer point on.
I'm at what they call a crossroads in my career.
Yeah,
Um, I've been
there's
shooting
many of
archery.
those,
I've
right?
been shooting archery since 1970,
Yeah,
and always been a three split finger glove guy.
yeah,
And then I went to a tab split finger, and I
yeah,
really loved the tab. I did really good for like long time. And then I don't know what possessed me a couple of years ago to go back to using a glove.
yeah.
And the glove was okay, but I found myself really squeezing the arrow a lot with my glove. Whereas
Okay,
with the split fingered tab, it
yeah,
forced my fingers to spread out a little bit and allow me to trust the knock, the
yeah.
snap knock.
Did that tab have a spacer in it?
Yeah.
So it helps you. Yeah, that's the thing. It helps you keep it. I'm a glove guy, right? So
Okay.
I shoot three under with a glove.
Okay.
Um, so does Drome, right? Actually, it's kind of funny. A bunch of
Now, do you guys tiller your bows specifically for three under? Is there a formula
we
or what?
we tiller them very, very neutral so that you can shoot either.
Okay.
If somebody was ordering a custom bow and they said, I want it specifically tillered for split or 300, we would do that. We tiller them. We tiller them on the bench very neutral so that a guy can do either.
So what's all right, tillering? Okay, upper lower
Yeah.
tiller. What's the difference between the two? I mean, I'm talking.
It,
We're talking what, like a 16th of an inch?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just very, very, very minute. And it's really to do with finger pressure above the
Mhm.
knock,
Okay.
right? You're trying to offset that.
So what I experienced, because I shoot bear takedowns exclusively when I
Yeah.
for my hunting, the one I hunt with for the last 25 years looks like it got run over by a UPS truck,
Yeah.
and that's what I want when I'm in the field because I could care less. It's a tool.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
it is to me. It's a tool. And I was like, man. So when I started experimenting with the 300 thing, I changed the tiller of the limbs
Oh, okay. Yeah.
to accommodate that because it
Yeah.
made it a lot quieter. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a gun going off.
Yeah.
And then I said, this stinks. I'm going to go back to the tab. So I went back to, I had the glove for a while. And I went back to the tab last week, as a matter of fact,
Oh, okay.
and I put different limbs on. These limbs are from bear. They are nice. They're beautiful. They're fast, and they're made for split finger. And I've been having some fun the last couple of days because I'm
Yeah.
getting ready for Mexico. So I'm a shooting fool. So I've
Yeah.
set myself up in the backyard. It's cold here. It's 40 degrees
Oh, wow.
in
Yeah.
Florida. And so I got a beach chair out there. Well, not a beach chair, but a chair, folding chair.
Yeah.
And I'm practicing. I got pig targets out there and I'm just whacking and stacking at 15 yards. I'm like, that's all I need because my
Yeah.
hothouse that I sit in Mexico,
Yeah.
my shot is 8 yards.
Yeah.
So if I miss, it's going to be because I shot the whole animal, which I usually
Oh, yeah.
do the first couple of shots.
Yeah.
Takes me a
No,
few.
I, I'm, I'm guilty. I've done it. It's funny. We went to Canada in June to do a spring bear hunt,
Mhm.
and that's the first time that I've specifically hunted like a week long out of a tree stand.
Wow.
I've never done it. And so me and my buddy Steve, we practiced for months
Mhm.
shooting from about 10 feet up. And so that was a nice thing. All those, up at stick flingers in Manitoba, all those barrels are around 12, 15 yards.
Mhm.
And it was funny. I was shooting a longbow with wood arrows, and, you know, I'm a good shot. And they're like, how come you didn't, how come you're not going to shoot that one? I'm like, oh, it's too far. I want them in my lap. And, because I say, like, that's a $5,000 arrow, right? You let that go. You're not in your back. You're not in your zone that's in your back where, Mr. Green Jeans is going to check you. You've got an outfitter there. You draw blood and you're done. So I'm
Now
like,
I
no,
I heard stick flingers is awesome outfit.
yeah, it's really awesome. Ryan Durlago up there, he's got it set up, man. He's a hunting fool. He's been bear hunting since he was a little kid. His dad was a bear hunter. Uh, that place is set up like amazing. The setup up there,
Where did you
and
fly into?
we actually flew into North Dakota.
Okay.
So we went. There was four of us. We had two guys from Texas, and then Steve and I live here in California. So we all flew into Denver, and then we took a jump flight to North Dakota. We rented a big truck and drove 6 hours across the border and way up into Manitoba
Sweet.
and hung out up there. But yeah, I shot my bear the last day, and it was the 45th bear that I'd seen, and I shot it at 8 yards.
Beautiful.
So it was.
What did the
And
skull measure out
um, I couldn't tell you. It's in my freezer.
at?
So I haven't, well, I mean, I have an idea. It's going to make book, but
Yeah.
I can't tell you to the 16th because it's not finished out.
Just so you know, because you guys are looking at Mexico,
Yeah,
Pope and Young just opened up a category for javelina.
I know.
So my buddy that was on the hunt with me last year,
Yeah,
Jerry, is the world record holder right now.
that's awesome.
Jerry Oliver, by the way, and I know he's
Yeah.
listening. So Jerry got attacked by this javelina. He unloaded his entire quiver into this animal before it died. So yeah,
At
yeah.
least
So
he got it.
well, his hero picture, his eyeballs are like they're like this big. It's like
Look like you shot a porcupine.
man, it's hilarious. No, no, he took the arrows out. Thank God. It's like yeah, I can't use this picture for the
Wow.
magazine.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, it's great
I,
times.
my only empty in the quiver story is I was up on Kodiak and I shot every arrow in my quiver at this pretty close to Boone and Crockett buck. Went and picked them all up and shot them all again. I missed him every single time.
Wow. Yeah, you're just like
Once,
you're starstruck, like, oh my God, look at the
well,
size of this thing.
once I missed the first arrow, I was done.
Yeah, you're
Right.
mentally shot.
I had him at 20 yards and I shot right under his brisket. The second arrow went right in front of his brisket, and after that, it was a shit show.
Yeah, I would
So
imagine.
made a good story. It was funny. My buddy's like, "What are you doing?" He's watching me walk around up on the hill and picking him up and shooting me. The buck just walked out to about 60 yards and just stood there and watched me. Didn't even care.
Right? They don't see humans very often.
Well, no, he didn't see humans that didn't shoot very well very
Yeah,
often.
right. So let's talk about that for just a second.
Sure.
Kodiak, blacktail,
Yeah.
is the I, Alaska's getting weird, from what I understand. Do you have to put in for points? Is it a do it yourself? How does it work?
So Alaska for blacktails, simple. You get online, you buy your license. I think it's 180 bucks, and you buy your tag, $300. Um, and you can DIY. You can hunt all of Alaska, mainland, islands, whatever. Within that, there's different zones that have regulations.
Mhm.
So, like Kodiak, I want to say is zone 8, and so they had a really bad winter kill a couple years ago, and they reduced the deer numbers. So when we went in 2021, you could get three tags for buck or doe.
Mhm.
So I shot a buck, I shot a doe. The year or two after, they had that bad winter kill. Now it's one deer,
Mhm.
and I think it's one. I think it has to be a buck until maybe a certain date you can shoot a doe. But I'm pretty sure it's buck only, and it's one. That's why we haven't gone back yet. We're waiting for the herd to come back, and they're going to raise the numbers again. Then we'll go back up there. But we did we did with Homer Ocean Charters, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Compton's guys went up there. We did that trip. It was awesome. You fly up there, then you get on the float plane, they fly you in, and then Rourke Brown and those guys up there, they take really good care of you all week, and they take you in the Zodiac. They take you into shore every morning and drop you off. You go hunt all day. You come
Mm.
back and there's food made for you. It's awesome,
Yeah. I've
And
been looking at that. I've been looking at that.
yeah, it's that's an amazing hunt. Steve and I think if when we go back, I think we're gonna do a DIY. We're gonna fly in and get dropped in the backcountry
Mm.
and do it that way. So, but there's caribou on the island. You can buy a caribou tag, and you can hunt caribou on the island as well. Uh, there's mountain goats on the island. You have to have a guide and draw for that. The bears you have to draw, and you have to have a guide and all that. But um, there's certain species that you have to be guided, and there's certain ones that you don't.
Right.
Like moose, you can go moose hunting up there, don't have to be guided. That's getting to be very expensive, even DIY.
I
Um,
know. I know. I know. Well, Mike Mitten. So,
I do, yeah.
yeah,
I
he's.
was talking to Jim Eakout and I were talking last night about going. He's going up there in 26,
Mm.
and he and we formed an online friendship, and we talked quite a bit. And so
Mhm.
he's given me some pointers and everything. I told him I need to go do that before I physically can't go do that. So
Yeah, well, I'm getting
uh,
there.
yeah, so I'll be 60 in 2029. I'll be 60, and
Okay.
it's like that's my goal. I want to do that
Oh, you're a
at that
baby,
time.
man. You're a baby.
I know.
So my hunting partner John is 75. He's going to be 76. This guy used
Okay.
to. He's about 5'9", maybe 5'10", 145 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
This guy can still hug a tree and climb it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's a maniac. So, but last 2 weeks ago, we were hunting up north, up in Maryland. We were supposed
Yeah.
to go to New York State, but we went to Maryland because other issues came into play. So I have a permission farm up there that we hunted on, and it was 5 freaking degrees. And
Oh
I've been
wow.
here in Florida now 4 years, so my blood is thin as hell.
Yeah.
And even John goes me after we got out on morning stands, goes back to the truck, and I can't even feel my fingers. So I'm in the truck, it's uncontrollably,
Yeah.
convulsing. And finally, he's got the heat. Thank God he had heated seats. That warmed me up right away.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so he looks at me, and he seriously looks at me. He goes, "Rich, I don't know how much longer I can do this." I looked at him. I said, "Dude, you're 10 years older than me. I don't know how much longer I can do this."
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much you physically can take, and this is even with performance gear on.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, my head's warm, my feet are warm, but I had shit gloves on. So, all right,
Yeah.
spend the money, Rich. Something about buying $100 gloves that drives me crazy. But I
Oh
think,
yeah.
yeah.
It's yeah. I'm right there with you.
So let's circle back to Bwana. How did
Sure.
you and Jerome become? You guys known each other forever. So how did you become partners in this venture?
So it was kind of funny. So Jerome, when we met, Jerome was a compound guy,
Hmm.
and we grew up through our 20s together and hunted and everything. And he always wanted to he always wanted to go to Africa. That was his thing. And I think he's been 12, 13 times,
Yeah.
right? And he's going again this year. Um, he wanted to go to Africa. I wanted to go north, and so as we matured as hunters and got a little older and I had kids and stuff, we kind of went separate ways. Around that time, he decided he wanted to start shooting trad because he'd already been to Africa a couple times and killed everything that he could with a compound. He's like, this is too easy. I need something harder. And, I think you guys talked about it last time. He builds guitars and he's
Yeah.
like, well, I can build a guitar, I can build a bow. Right. And so he started tinkering around building some bows then. So that whole time he'd been just building bows, playing around, making them for himself. And he made me one back in the 90s. He made me my first one, right? That he built. And fast forward all the way up to COVID, so he do you know who Ethics Archery is?
Hmm.
Okay. Jerome invented the Ethics Archery spinning insert.
Hmm.
Jerome and I were sitting building arrows and he drew it out on a napkin. His brother owns the company now, but Jerome invented that on a napkin when we were in our 20s, right? They were in business together. So Jerome was in business with his brother and his dad. They got in a big fight, and Jerome's like, F you guys, I'm out. And so he had Ethics custom recurves before, I think is what he called it.
Okay.
And so he's like, I'm going to wash my hands of it. I'm going to call it Bwana Bows and I'm going to relaunch it. I knew nothing about any of that.
Okay.
Right. And so I'm at the archery shop. COVID's going on now, right? It's early 2020. COVID's going on. I'm at the archery shop and I wanted to mess around with the ILF.
Okay.
So I had my buddy Steve order me a Hoyt Satori. I put it together and I shot it a little bit and I hunted with it and hated it. Right. It was
Well,
just
what
too
was it
much.
about the ILF you did not like?
To me, it felt too much like a compound.
Okay.
Right. I didn't like the riser. The tunability was awesome. Right.
Hmm.
It was fast. It actually stacked quite a bit.
Okay.
Right. It stacked quite a bit. I want to say it was a 50 50 pounder. I want to say, uh, but it's it that Satori recurve at 50 pounds stacked more than my 60-pound longbow
Wow,
that
that
we
sucks.
that we built. Yeah, and so it just stacked, and it just wasn't for me. And Steve had let Jerome put a couple of bows on the wall in the shop, and he goes, "Oh well, there's these bows, and these, if you want to get rid of that one, there's these." And I had shot the same Black Widow for 15 years. Like I was not a bow changing guy.
Sure.
And so he shows me Jerome's bows on the wall, and they were like the early serial numbers, like single digit serial numbers. And so I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh, these are pretty nice. Like, who builds these? He goes, oh, it's a local guy that builds them. I'm like, no shit, right? A local guy, huh? And he goes, yeah, Jerome Gazowski. And Steve and Jerome and I have all been friends since we were kids. And so I called Jerome. I'm like, hey, dummy, like, what are you doing? And so I bought a bow from him, right? Paid retail for it. And so I bought a bow from him and paid retail for it, and went out and killed a really nice buck with it, and just kind of started talking to him about design and everything. And Jerome is, I would never say this to his face.
But he's probably
Um,
watching this.
he might not, but he is one of the most gifted craftsmen that I know of.
Okay.
He's incredibly smart. He's super detail oriented. Like, I would never say these things to his face, right? I'm the generation that you talk shit to your buddies face to face and
Yeah.
you praise them behind their backs. And he's just really good at what he does. He hates the business side of it,
Oh
right?
shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He hates all that. That's what I do in my corporate job, right?
Right.
And so we're talking, and he's building me now. He's built me a couple of bows in the first year. He built me a couple, trying to really figure out what I liked, and he's still refining what he's doing. And he asks me, he says, would you like to be part of it? Would you like to be part of this with me and build this brand together? And I was very frank with him. I'm like, I am a consumer, not a craftsman, right? Like, I'm not building shit. Like, it's not going to happen. And he's like, yeah. Okay. Well, now 6 years later, I could, if I had to, I could build a pretty nice bow.
Okay.
But I don't have to because he does all the pretty stuff. Like, I don't get in the spray booth. He sprays them.
Okay. I was
You
under
know,
the impression
and
you sprayed bows for some reason. I have
no,
no idea.
yeah, no,
So
I don't.
folks, if so folks listening, I interviewed Jerome on episode 107, which is on Spotify only, because I did not switch to the double format until, like, I think episode 120 something. But just so you guys want to, if you want
Yeah,
to check it out, go to spotify.com, look up the Drop Time Traditions podcast, episode 107. So,
yep. So yeah, I don't get in the spray booth. Not that I couldn't learn it, but I don't do
right,
it. So
right.
so so we started doing that. I started helping him with building the brand, and started doing some naming, started doing some design work, started doing sales, started doing marketing. So I started taking on all of that so that he can just
It's
focus
actually
on,
it's actually the BS of the business.
oh
It's
yeah,
like, yeah, any bowyer
oh,
in their right
100%.
mind, God, there's
Yeah.
very
He's
few
like,
that are people oriented. You have to
yeah,
be very people oriented to be a
yeah,
salesman.
like, deal with customers. No, I don't want to do
Mm.
that. So he gets to focus on doing what he loves. I get to focus on what I'm good at doing. And between the two of us, we make a pretty good little company.
Is this all
So
you do, or do you have
no, I've
another
got
side gig?
we both have corporate jobs,
Mhm.
right? So I've got a corporate job where I'm a sales manager for a pretty big company in the MRO industry. So um, I've got a team of guys that work for me, and so I do that. So everything that I do for Bwana is all tested. That's what I do in my corporate job. So I test all that, and I know it works. And so it's it's fun, it's easy, and then I take all of my Bwana money, and that's how I fund my hunting trips.
Yeah, that's like my repair refinish. That's what funds
Yeah,
my hunting and collecting habits and illnesses. I have a corporate job too. I'm still
yeah,
working, believe it or not. I'm supposed to retire this past August, but they gave me a raise.
yeah,
Uh, I work in the insurance industry, and I work for one of
yeah,
the big three, if you will. I cannot name the company,
yeah.
but it's pretty intense. Big business comes with big bullshit. For
Oh
the
yeah,
the employee side of things. But hey,
yeah,
I'm an adapt and improvise kind of guy. So
yeah. No, I hear you. So I deal with that. Our company's based on the East Coast, so every day at
mm.
5 a.m. my phone starts dinging because I'm getting emails and everything. So
Oh yeah,
I'm an early riser. I get up and work, and uh, I get done mid afternoon, and then I mess around with bows and arrows.
yeah. Life sucks. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
You know, So,
You mentioned jujitsu earlier. Tell me about that journey.
so, um, so I was, before that, I was a bicycle racer, right? I raced mountain bikes, road bikes, did all of that for many, many years. Was really good at it, did it at a high level. And in 2011, I started having some balance issues and weird
Oh
stuff going
yeah.
on. And I ended up getting diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's, is what
Oh
they
shit.
diagnosed me with back then. And, I never wanted to punch anybody in the face as bad as I wanted to punch his doctor, because he told me at the time, he goes, well, the upside is it's not fatal. He goes, the downside is your days as an athlete are over, and I just wanted to throttle this guy.
Hmm.
And so I still tried racing for a couple of years. I had a lot of balance issues, had issues with the trimmer in my hand and everything. And so a friend invited me to jujitsu. He's like, well, you can't fall down. You're already on the ground. Right.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
true.
all right, let's go try that.
Novel
And so,
idea.
so I started doing jujitsu in 2014. And I was already a brown belt in judo at that time. And so I went and I finished, got my black belt in judo, and I worked my way through the belts in jujitsu. And, I teach at a school and underneath my professor, and have a good time doing that. And it was interesting. I really got to be a better archer because, like I said, is as I'm teaching, I tell students all the time, if you can't teach it, you don't know it. Right. I would say that probably Tom Clum or Joel Turner, those guys would tell you the same thing. If you can't teach it in a simple way, then you don't know it, not completely. And so I'm teaching jujitsu all the time, and I'm teaching these very refined techniques, very small positions of the hand,
Hmm.
right, and pressures and everything. I'm like, I wonder if I can take that and put it into how I shoot. And so I started doing that. Well, lo and behold, I got a lot better at shooting, right? Because it's application of technique.
And
I'm doing
focus.
this thing
Right.
and focus, right? I'm doing the same thing every time. It's repeatable. And so I took that jujitsu mindset into my archery. Archery got a lot better. Uh, the thing is once I got involved with the business, I kind of stepped away from teaching as much, and
Mm.
so now I'm not doing as much jujitsu because I'm messing around with bows and arrows more. So I'm trying to balance those two things, but um, I love it. Right, it's really fun, and it's a great sport. It's great to get kids into, teach them some confidence, and then
Mhm.
it's easier to deal with people yelling at you when you can just choke them if you wanted to. Yeah.
So I have a question. This is a real question that applies to me, actually. I've been noticing some serious balance issues on my end.
Yeah.
I mean, like I misstep and it's like, what the hell was that? Um, I want to get into some kind of a physical regimen, if you will. I
Yeah.
don't want to go lift weights or anything like that. I mean, I'm still pretty stealthy for my age. I'm 65.
Yeah.
Um, what about jujitsu? Would that still be applicable or doable for a guy my age?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
100%. Right. You want to find a good school, right? And there's a lot of guys in traditional archery that are jujitsu guys.
Well, if you
Um,
listen to my last interview, well, it's
yeah.
actually dropping tonight.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I'll
yeah,
listen to it tomorrow.
yeah. He's
Um,
dropping tonight. The dude's badass. He's
yeah.
a force Marine, force,
Oh, nice.
recon Marine, and
Yeah.
hardcore Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. That's what I do. Yeah.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would absolutely say go in and do it. And I tell, like, when I'm teaching and a new student like yourself would come in, I grab a student that I'm going to partner them with, and I tell them, I look them dead in the eye. I would not look at you at all. I look straight at my student, and I said, you know the rule. What's the rule? And they said, if I hurt him, you're going to hurt me. I'm like, there you go. Go have fun. Right. And I tell them, I'm like, do not hurt this guy. It's his first day.
Yeah,
It's
just
not a, it's not a fight.
go through techniques.
Right. Right. Like, if you hurt him, at least on the first day, right? You hurt him, I'm going to hurt you. And I've never had to never
No,
had to tune
man, the
anybody up.
guys, you don't want
But
to scare the guy. You want him to come back and have fun.
you want him to come back, but you also want him to know that you take that layer of anxiety away,
Mhm.
because like, okay, most people think I'm going to get hurt, right? They see what's going on and they're like, I don't know if I do this, I'm going to get hurt. So I do that. Everybody knows we're laughing and everything. Like it just brings it down a little bit. Like, okay, go have fun. And then I spend more time with those people going through technique and teaching them very, very basic things. Like there's 5 basic positions. You go through those,
Mhm.
teach them how to get some positions, teach them how to move, how to relax. It takes about 6 months to feel like you're not drowning anymore,
Okay.
right?
That's about
And
right.
yeah, it takes about 6 months to feel like you're not drowning, very much like archery, right? And then you get this boost of confidence that lasts from about 6 months to about 2 years. And then you realize at that 2 year point, a lot of guys get their blue belt and they think they know a lot of stuff and they get all excited. And then they find out that they don't know anything, right? And so a lot of guys quit after blue belt because it gets hard. And so, like a lot of traditional archery guys or a lot of archery people, they're all into it until they kill something and then they realize that, oh, now the work starts, right? And maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I want to be a target guy or this or that.
Right.
uh, so they kind of go hand in hand. But I would absolutely recommend you go do it. Find uh, a gym that does a beginner night. Find a gym that does no gi. That way you don't have to have a gi on. You can just go with shorts and a t-shirt, or a
Mhm.
long sleeve t-shirt or a short sleeve, whatever dictates the temperature, and just no zippers and none of that kind of stuff. And you go in there and you learn something. you know
Sweet.
yeah,
Cool.
I think it's good for everybody, from 4 or 5 year old kids
Yeah.
to somebody that's, if you can walk. Actually, I don't even have to be able to walk, right? But from about 4 or 5 all the way up, I think it's great for everybody.
Yeah. A lot of guys that I know a lot of my friends that are my age and maybe a little older have taken up yoga just to
Yeah,
maintain flexibility and
yeah.
whatnot, and my flexibility is pretty good. I mean, I got a bum knee, but whatever. I mean, you know, it's going to be replaced at some time, at some point,
So
but
jujitsu's kind of funny little nickname is, we call it murder yoga.
nice.
Right? 'Cause, you're doing yoga, but you're not
Drink to that.
always you're not always voluntarily putting your body in those positions.
Yeah, I know. It's fun. The day I went to get out of bed, and
I,
I think the day before I was doing something in the shop, and I just really put a lot of stress on my knee, and I had the knee scoped like 12 years ago by the
yeah.
actual orthopedic surgeon for the Baltimore Ravens. Did my knee,
Oh wow,
and
no,
they did a nice job too. And I actually went and killed a big 12 pointer with the cast on.
oh, that's awesome.
But I had to drag it. Like took me 3 hours to get it out of the woods, and then I had to get cortisone shot because I think I jacked the knee up. And the guy goes, "Dude, you're an idiot." I said, "What?" He goes, "I said I'm not missing hunting season. I'm not missing the rut. We talked about
Yeah,
this."
yeah,
He goes, "If I got to redo this, you're paying me double."
yeah.
So I was like, "All right, whatever." But yeah,
You know
now
what's
it,
funny though is, as far as a workout though, like jujitsu, I don't lift weights, right? I refuse to lift weights. All of my workouts are either body weight movements, like
okay,
military style workouts, or
right,
jujitsu.
right,
And so I always joke around, like if I wanna lift weights, I roll with guys that are bigger than me.
right,
And if I want to do cardio, I roll with guys that are smaller than me because they're
right.
fast, right?
Yeah.
So that's my workout.
So
Other
I've been doing the chair workouts.
Yeah, those are great.
They're fantastic. I mean, my strength is like doubled.
Yeah,
Actually, we were hanging out where were we? On Sunday with
yeah,
my boys, and one of them's a massive bodybuilder. He's like,
yeah.
of course he's short, but his deltoid is like the size of a dinner plate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I'm looking at him like that's disgusting, man. I remember when you weighed 90 pounds soaking wet. He goes,
Yeah.
"That's the reason, Pop." You know, they got beat up a lot, but
Uh-huh.
it's funny. Now he's in his 40s. Uh, he still works out every day religiously, but
Yeah,
it's not for the bodybuilding part of it anymore.
yeah,
It's just for maintaining strength and health.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's awesome.
but so you don't finish bows, you don't do any of that, and I know you've built a few bows probably.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think Jerome probably doesn't like them. Am I correct with that?
Well, he doesn't like my ideas.
Hmm.
So you had asked me if there was any nightmare builds. All of those nightmare builds are because of me.
Okay.
So he likes, and we differ a little bit, and like our arguments come from me wanting to push the envelope of what he is comfortable with. He wants to build heirloom quality, like blacktail, right?
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
Like he wants to build heirloom quality hunting bows, and I love that. Right? I've got one. Right? I love that. I want to build bows that you go out and you knock the shit out of and you throw in the truck or the side by side, and
Right.
like you throw it across the river in Alaska and you beat it up, right? And so we're always competing on that. Like he wants, he's suckered me into it. Like I am a wood geek now. Like I love getting into all the woods and dealing with
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that.
Burl and
And
Imbua and all that stuff. It's
oh
crazy.
yeah, it's well, and why does the same variety of wood have different uh why is one a burl compared to a quilt, or a bird's eye, and what
Spalted.
happens
Right. And
what
you,
happens within that tree to make that
right.
form,
There's insects,
right?
there's bacteria, there's
Yeah,
disease.
I
All that
love it,
comes into play.
right?
Yeah. I'm a wood geek
Yeah,
too. I
yeah.
mean, my
So
wife
he's
goes to me, she's like, "Why do you have so much wood in here?" I was like,
yeah,
"Because I like it. That's my
you know
thing. Well, I could go
he
to a strip bar, but I'll collect
right,
wood."
right. So he's got me into that. But a couple of years ago, Black Widow made for Randy Cooling, they made him a G10 carbon limbed, I think, recurve.
I remember that bow. That thing weighed 40
And
pounds, mass weight.
yeah, and I took a picture of it and I sent it to him, and I'm like, I want one. This is what I want. I want to build this.
Okay.
And I said, I want a G10. I want to do a Bwana that's G10. I want to do carbon limbs. We'd never done carbon before.
Hmm.
This is what I want to do. And he's like, no, put his foot down.
But it's
Like
for
hard.
you.
But if it's for me, then somebody's going to see it, and then it's for
Ah,
everybody. And he's like, hard stop. No, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, okay, why? And so we talked for a while back and forth. And he was like, I don't want to do G10 because, like my card, it's just man made, right? There's no soul to it. He gave all of his reasons, all of his romantic reasons to it. And then he backed it up with the tooling reasons. It's hard on tools,
sure.
all of that. And it's not really even cost prohibitive or anything. The costs are about the same. He goes, I just don't like it. And I was like, okay, but can I have the carbon lamps? Right. And so we ended up building this bow that I call Uncle Charlie. And it's my recurve that I hunt with the most. And it's a really nice California walnut riser with carbon limbs on it.
Okay.
And I think we had to build 2 or 3 sets before we got it dialed. And then once you have the formula, right? Once you have the formula, now we can do the carbon limbs, and they're great. And they come out. You know what's funny? The carbon limb of on our design, the carbon limb compared to like a wood veneer limb, you get 3 to 7 feet per second, depending, right,
Hmm.
on how smooth your release is. Really,
How about
what you get.
noise?
They're a little noisier, but they stabilize faster,
Okay.
right? So they stabilize really quick. They're a little bit faster on a recurve, because of the width of the limb. They stabilize really fast. You can still get them quiet. Um, we've had some issues. We had a couple where guys are pushing the envelope on arrow weight, and we had a failure. 1 or 2 failures where a guy was running really, really light arrow, and he's basically dry firing it.
Ah,
And so it's on the belly of the bow, it's compressing. And so you've got one side of it's getting compressed, the other side's getting stretched. And carbon it's not natural fibers, and it's very rigid. And it just, it they have a much shorter lifespan. A
Oh yeah.
carbon limb is going to have a shorter lifespan than a bamboo or a maple cord limb that's got maple veneers on it, or
Hmm.
you know, black and white ebony veneers or whatever. Um, and they're just not as pretty, and there's a lot to it. So he's not a fan of the carbon limbs, and that's all my fault, right? They're pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
So we built. So we started with that. That was probably the first nightmare build. That was all my fault. But
Oh no. Oh, we locked up here. I had this happen last week. Mark, can you hear me? Oh, this is not good. Shit. All right, this is really pissing me off, guys. This happened to me last week. Hmm.
there you go.
Oh, okay. This happened to me last week. I don't know if it's my software or what's going on here, but this is very irritating. Thank God it was only like less than 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
thank you, Jesus.
All right.
So anyway, so yeah, okay. So Jerome is not a fan of your ideas, but
Yeah.
he loves you nonetheless. Here we go again. You're locked up. Oh man. Oh, I gotta find a better way to do these. Oh man. Let's see what I can find here. Mute, stop video chat, make host. Dude, can you hear me? I can't redo this because I'm hungry and I gotta eat. Well, I think I'm gonna send you a message on Messenger and see what's going on. Got to keep this thing rolling, entertain people. Hmm. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
And, and we're back.
Okay. So I don't know what's going on. How's your signal there? Your computer signal?
Mine's great.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I know I can hear my wife in the background. She's watching that new episode or new season of Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
I hate that stuff. I can't stand it. So
I
I'm just
I haven't watched it. My wife and daughter watch it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a chick thing. So anyway, um, let's move forward here. Have you guys come up with any new models, or are you still rolling with the same?
So, well, we've got five,
Yeah.
right? So we've got five models out there or variations. Uh, we really do. We might change some things aesthetically. We might do a couple of things in 2026 that change small things. Um, but we're going to stay with our bread and butter, which is the three-piece takedown, longbow and recurve, and
Hmm.
the riser. We do a little 14-inch riser, so it's a hybrid riser, which gives us a nice long limb, which is one of the reasons our bows don't stack. Um, so a guy can buy one riser, both limbs, and have two bows.
Sure.
Um, so we do those, and then we have a bow called a Kufa, which is a one-piece longbow,
Hmm.
which we also offer in a two-piece takedown
Sure.
with the locket socket style.
Hmm.
That was my idea, and Jerome was not happy. We argued about that. I told him I wanted a one-piece, and we went back and forth. I think for 2.5 years,
Hmm.
and he's like, "Fine, but you're gonna build it." So I had to get in there, and he goes, "You're building the first one. You want it, you're building it." I'm like,
Okay.
"All right, fair enough." And so I built the first one, and we gave it to a friend of ours who's a knife maker, and he's been shooting it, hasn't failed. He loves it, right?
Good. Good.
And so we started selling that one a couple of years ago, and they're pretty popular. But shipping is so crazy now. It costs $100 to ship one of those things in a tube. So we don't really try to sell them unless guys are on the West Coast and can pick them up.
Well, let me ask you a question. Have you tried pirateship.com?
I haven't. I've heard of that.
I
Is it
use it
pretty
all the
good?
time, dude. I ship 2 to 3 bows a week,
Yeah.
and I buy my boxes from Uline, 200 pound crush test, 36 by 6 inches by six
Yeah.
inches, and I telescope them. Lots of bubble wrap,
Yeah.
mummify them suckers, guys.
Yeah.
Uh, so for me to ship a bow from here to California, $46 with
Okay.
insurance.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
what
about
it
what
is.
we're paying on the
You
takedowns.
right. Okay. So you're using
Yeah.
a third party commercial license. That's how they can bring the cost down.
Oh,
It
okay.
was it was crazy. Before I went to this, it was costing me 60 to $80 to ship a recurve to California. I was
Yeah.
like, God.
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah. Shipping's crazy.
yeah, it's getting out of
But
control, but it is what it is. Uh,
yeah.
I don't pay shipping anymore. I used to, but
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore.
We
It's just,
used to just eat it.
yeah,
We used to just eat it as part of the sale of a bow, and now we charge people this. Hey, it's you know
yeah. I hate to do
cost
it.
of buying a custom bow,
Right. It's like
but
refinishing and repairs. I mean,
yeah,
I was charging nothing, next to nothing, and then now I realized, oh God.
yeah.
So,
I think for what we offer when we're building a custom bow, and a lot of the stuff you see us post online are like stock bows that Jerome's just got wood laying around, and
mhm.
he's what he just wants to make them, right? But if a guy wants to go from scratch and do a custom bow, the level that we bring the customer in and get them involved in every decision that's made, I think that's every bit worth paying $50 to get it shipped to you when it's done, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And so, I just built a we did a bow for a guy. Where was he at? We got to think about it. Shit, I don't remember. We did a custom guy in Utah, and he wanted a bow, and he wanted what I shoot. Jerome and I both shoot the same bow right now,
Hmm.
built out of desert ironwood, right? Um, when Jerome did his, you could hardly find this stuff, and then we found a vendor that we got quite a few blanks out of. So I ended up building one because I just liked his so much. But had a guy who wanted a desert ironwood bow, and I was like, all right, here's the blanks that we have. Which one do you want your bow to be built out of? Right. And so he picked his piece of wood, and then you go in and nice. I like those guys. Um, he picks his piece of wood. We let the guys pick the stripes that they want.
Hmm.
We let them mix and match woods. We let them mix and match. If you want the back of the bow to be this veneer and the belly this one, like, and we go through and we send them pictures of all the processes. We let them pick out the engravings they want. We let them pick out if they want compasses and coins and everything we offer. Like, they can pick it all out. We send them pics as it goes. So it's like ordering a car from Chip Foose or something, because you're in
Yeah.
every decision you make, right? So a lot of times, by the time the guys gets his bow in the mail to put it together, he's already emotionally involved, right? And we shoot him, right? We shoot him. We get him. We like to shoot everything at 10 grains per pound, right? So if it's a 50-pound bow, we're going to shoot a 500 grain arrow. We tune them in the shop to that. So most of the time, the strings are shot in, their nocks are set. We tell you this is the brace height to go with, and here you go. And so most of the time, guys are up and running 30 minutes after getting a bow, and
Yep.
they build the arrow we tell them to build, and they're solid.
Hmm.
So, unfortunately, a lot of builders don't do that anymore, right? You've
No,
got a
no.
checklist, and you just check it off, and that's what you go. But we're a small company, and it's us, and we can do what we want, and that's
Yeah,
what we want to do.
I've had a couple of customs made for me in the recent years, and
Yeah,
I have specific bowyers I deal with, and I get the bow, and I know it's been shot because I could see a little wear in the strike plate. So I said,
yeah,
okay, cool. And then there's a
yeah,
suggestion on a piece of paper, all professionally written. This is what
yeah,
you need. Up, 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 up. And
yeah.
like you said, within a half an hour,
No,
I'm whacking and stacking.
we did one for a guy recently. He lives a couple hours away from me, and um, I tuned it to with my arrows, right? And I shot. I mean, the thing's shooting just lasers. And I told him, buy this arrow, cut it to this exact length, fletch it with this, set the brace height to this, and the nock point to that. And he went out, he did everything I told him, which most customers don't do, right? He did every single thing I told him. And he goes, the first shot out of the bow was money. And I'm like, yeah, well,
Told you.
yeah, all you had to do is listen. So it's the guys that want to shoot a 55-pound recurve and shoot a 380 grain arrow that drive you crazy. Right?
I'm a big fan of heavy arrows, heavy
Yeah.
arrows, and
So
massive.
how heavy, when you
Oh,
say heavy, what do you
I'm
shoot?
11 grains per pound
Okay.
with a 200 up front.
Yeah.
A Zwicky Eskimo, and
I
it's
shot Eskimos for years.
yeah, I love massive devastation.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like pushing a telephone pole through a soft hide.
Oh yeah.
As long as
I
that broadhead
shoot
is sharp, man.
I shoot most of my bows are 50, almost all of my bows, like everything here, every one of them is between 58 and 65 pounds,
Okay.
right? Um, most of them are 59 or 60. And I like to shoot like 640, 650 grains. So
Mm,
just over 10 grains, like 10.3 or something.
okay.
Uh, I can I can shoot all the same arrows out of all those bows, and that's why I do it that way.
Yeah.
And then I can. They always say fear the man with one bow, right? Well, I've got six of them back there, but they're really the same bow.
Yeah.
The
In
way I've
one
got them
way,
set up.
shape, or another. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
hey, let's talk about Bwana bows again. You guys are the
yeah,
bow provider for the 2026 Compton's Dream Hunt. Let's talk about that.
we are. I'm really excited about that. Um, I got it back in 2021 randomly, and I was never a member of Compton's or PBS or anything. Um, I knew about them, right? But I was like, those are East Coast clubs. Just I didn't really know, right? And with COVID, you're sitting at home all day, and so you started like, so I joined both of them. Yeah, you join them and you start learning some things. Oh, there's more people with stuff in common than you know, and
Right.
um, I had that trip booked to Kodiak Island, and so I just reached out to Brian Burkhart. I sent him a message on Instagram. I'm like, hey, I'm going to Kodiak for the first time. I don't know anything about what I need to do up there. Are you able to help me? And several weeks later, he gets a hold of me and he's like, give me a phone call. And so now we know each other. We've talked and,
Hmm.
we've built this relationship. So a couple of months ago, he's an East Coast guy. So a couple of months ago, like 6 o'clock in the morning, I get a text message and it's like, hey, Mark, would Bwana like to be the provider of the bow for the 2026 Compton Stream Hunt? And Jerome and I are partners, and we make almost every decision together, and we give a bow away to some organization every year. And I did not ask him, right? I responded to Brian right away. I'm like, yep, we're in. Like, tell me what you need.
Right.
And I told Jerome like an hour later, I was like, so I kind of did something, and we've got to do it. And I told him why. And he was laughing. He was totally fine with it. He was,
Sure.
you know. But yeah, so we that was fun, and it was, you build relationships with guys through these clubs. And when we started the company, we wanted to give back, and we started the first couple of years, we donated a bow to a local shoot. And then for the next 2 years, we donated bows to a state shoot. And so then now Brian reaches out and we're like, well, that's the next step was, let's give one to Compton's. And I talked to Randy and the guys at PBS about maybe doing one for the next, not this gathering, but the next one. We might do a bow to give away at that banquet.
Hmm.
So Brian reached out and without even knowing, I'm like, yep, we'll do it. And
Very
then he
easy
started
guy to
talking.
talk to. Very easy guy to talk to.
Oh yeah, no, and great guy,
Yeah.
right? And so I was like, so I guess now that I've committed to this, what's the hunt? And they were just putting it together. So it's an axis deer hunt in Hawaii.
Mhm.
The giveaway is going to be, our bow, you're going to get a quiver. I think there's a bunch of different equipment pieces that come with it. There's the hunt. There's some cash to help you with airfare. And then there's going to be guys from the board there. I'm sure Brian's going to be there
Yeah.
and some other guys. So it's an awesome package. I hope they sell a ton of tickets and make a bunch of money for the club. And then when I committed to it, I told them we'll do a hunter, right? That's what I told them. I said, well, we'll build you a hunter model bow, which is our entry level bow. And the more I thought about it, I was like, we're going to do something nice.
Yeah.
The hunter model bow was, we wanted to put out a bow that was more affordable. And so we did a diamond wood single piece riser. We don't do the accent stripes and everything. And the hunter is less expensive because we're not putting time into it. Right. And then the base material is a little bit cheaper. But the reason it costs $1,000 instead of 15 or, up is because we're not putting the hand labor into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I told Brian, we'll build him one of those. And then, I started talking to Chris Goddess, and I was like, so, what kind of woods are native to the islands? And, you could use mango or you could use koa. And so, it's like, so then I'm asking Jerome, hey, do we have any of this in stock? Yes, we do. And so whoever wins it, if they want a really nice Hawaiian themed bow, we're going to build it for them.
Mango veneers.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, man.
Dude, that's what I'm thinking is a koa riser, some mango veneers.
Yep.
We'll engrave an axis into the side. We'll put axis tracks on it, and we're probably sign it like Compton Dream Hunt 2026 inside the limp pocket. And it'll be a collector's piece for whoever gets to win it. And, they can pick, we do them from 58 to 64 inches. They can pick recurve longbow. I don't care. We're going to build it for that guy or gal. And, we're excited to do it.
I'm going
to
buy my tickets like I do every year.
It's probably going to be as fun for us to get to build it.
Sure.
As it will be for the person getting it. Right.
And when they take their game animal, they take their hero picture wearing a lei and the bow.
Right.
That would be so cool.
Yeah. That'd be badass. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
100%. You got to do that.
Well, folks, get involved with Compton and PBS. They're both excellent organizations. I've been a supporter for many, many decades. So let me switch gears here. So congratulations are in order for you recently made regular qualified member for the PBS.
I did. What
was that like?
It was a process.
Yeah.
And I heard you say that you had done it years ago. 3 times or
no, twice.
Or twice.
I got fed up with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was one of those things. It's really not that big of a difference other than you can vote and hold office, right?
Right.
They don't treat you any different. But it was something I wanted to do, right? I wanted to do that. I've been doing this for 35, 36 years now.
Right.
And I really love love everything about PBS. And what I really just am enamored with about the qualifying process is that it's weeding out those target guys.
Yeah.
Right. And all of those rules are set up to keep the target community in the target lane.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we're better than them or anything, but you guys have your sandbox over there. This is our sandbox. If you want to do this, you have to do it this way.
Right.
And so Jerome and I, part of what we do is we compete a fair amount, right? We do quite a few competitions, state level competitions, national competitions, and we use our hunting bows.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing an NFAA nationals, I'm shooting a 60-pound bow and a 600 grain arrow. And I don't care that those guys are shooting a 40-pound bow and a 400 grain arrow and they can hold it and aim and everything. I'm going to shoot what I shoot. And we do that because we want to show that, if you put your time in and you are a proficient shooter, that you can go out and compete
Hmm.
with your hunting bow. You don't have to do that, right? You don't have to go down that road. So I really like the PBS mindset of this is a hunting club and here's where it is. I I'm friends with Steve Steve Honsey,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I'd asked him about it, and he's like, "Well, you really, you need to go on a hunt with somebody and really sit down and talk to them." So when we were in, I got the call that I was voted in on December 15th, and I started really thinking about doing my application in June. So it took almost 6 months. Like it's a process.
Well, who's your sponsor?
Randy Reeves in Texas.
Okay.
So we were in Canada together,
Hmm.
and so we shared 3 meals a day together, right? We didn't really hunt together, but we shared camp together, 3 meals a day together for a week. And he really talked at PBS, and we just had a lot of conversations and everything. And I got home, and 3 or 4 days after I got home, I sent him a text message. And I'm like, hey, would you consider sponsoring me for my regular membership? And he's like, absolutely, I'd love to do it. Right. And so I did it, and the application is lengthy.
I know.
It's like it's harder to do that than it was to get into college. The application's lengthy. He sent it back to me like 2 or 3 times to revise it. And then he sent it to Randy Brookshire, who sent it back to me a couple times, and so my application bounced back and forth probably 5 or 6 times until it was complete. And then I finally got a text message. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think it's good. And then randomly got a phone call from Ethan on the 15th, and he's like,
Hmm.
hey, you know who this is? And I'm like, nope. And then he introduces it. Oh yeah, no, I know who this is. And we had a nice little 5-minute phone call. He invited me to come out to Lexington, or not Lexington, but to Indy.
Hmm.
And I'm
Are
going
you
to
go?
try
Are
to
you
do
go? Are you
that.
going?
I'm gonna try to do it. Yeah,
Oh,
my wife
awesome.
was like, you should go.
Well, bring the wife. I'm
And
bringing mine. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
she said she might. All right, she doesn't do too
Did you
many
go to
hunting
Lexington
things.
by any chance?
I did not.
Oh, you missed a
So
blast, man. It was a
that's
blast.
what I heard.
Yeah. So,
So
that's fantastic, man.
yeah, gonna try to hit Indy. And he's like, well, if you can make it, we'll give you your certificate up on stage and the whole thing. It'll be a good time. So we're gonna try to make it out there for that. So
Yeah. There's so many great people. Well, the whole organization. But when I went to Lexington, I had not been to a PBS gathering in like almost 40 years,
yeah, wow,
and I was like,
yeah,
it was like people, Rich. It's like, oh, I needed to get
yeah,
there a day earlier
yeah,
just to catch up with
yeah.
people. It was just a whirlwind. My head's still spinning from it almost 2 years later.
Yeah,
But
that's how it
yeah,
is when I go to the sheep show, or went to Pope and Young in Reno, and then
right,
I've gone to the sheep show and stuff, and it's the same way. It's like you end up just talking to people, like
right. That's why I
it's
send
good
my wife
times.
on the ladies' excursions. She goes,
Yeah,
I know I'm going to be a bow hunting widow this weekend. Hook
yeah,
me up with stuff. So I did. So I was like,
yeah,
all right, I'll see you on Saturday night banquet. So
yeah.
the whole day I'm just running around talking to people.
That's fun
Um,
though.
but
That's a good time.
congratulations again.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I uh,
So
I really got kind of what was funny is the S- Steve put out. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but they have the PBS Survival Hunt Challenge. You
yes,
familiar with
yes.
that?
Hmm.
So Steve put that out, and I texted him or I messaged him. I'm like, I was kind of laughing about it. I'm like, Steve, you've got this challenge out there. I said, that's the way I just hunt normally. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you should do it. So I ended up earning the first one. I was the first one to complete the PBS Survival Hunt Challenge. I've actually done it twice now, and that's what really got me like, okay, if PBS is doing this kind of stuff, and like they're hardcore into
Yeah,
hunting that way,
they've
like
taken it to another level
yeah, like
from
this
10
is
years ago.
yeah, I'm like I want to be a part of that, right?
Mhm.
And so now my goal now is to get more of my friends that I look up to,
Yeah.
right? to be a part of it as well, and get better representation from the Western
Yeah,
states.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to move a little up here. Have you been out of the U.S. to hunt yet?
Just to Canada.
Canada. Okay.
So,
Any
yeah.
aspirations to go to Africa or Australia?
I was supposed to go to Africa with Jerome in 2024, and I don't remember, something happened with business and I didn't go. And he keeps inviting me. He goes every other year. He keeps inviting me. I haven't gone yet. I told him I would do that when I physically can't do the mountains anymore.
Okay.
Right. I really want to go. I really want to hunt an eland. You know what those are?
Oh, I know.
And everybody's like, oh, well, you want a kudu? Yeah, I'll shoot a kudu, but I want an eland. Like,
they're like huge.
It's as big as a moose, right? It's the
I had
largest
an opportunity.
animal.
I had an opportunity to hunt in South Africa back in the 80s, and I was all ready to go, and then that whole bottom dropped out with the political thing.
Oh, okay. That's where
Rhodesia.
Jerome goes to South Africa. He goes to Limpopo Valley. So
Yep.
he's got it dialed in. And, that's the thing is, like, if I went with him, I've got, built-in tour guide.
Of course.
And a buddy.
And a buddy. That's even better.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
So I'll end up over there. Just not sure when.
Yeah, I'm like looking at my future for as far as hunting is concerned. I'm like, man, I'm going to retire this coming August, actually.
Yeah.
So I'll be on a fixed income. So again, the bow restoration and refinish. Yeah, I'm going to have to amp things up if I'm going to get out of across the pond, so to speak. But we shall see. I'm very happy hunting here in America. So
yeah,
I have no complaint. I have no complaints.
I love hunting the high country, and it's my jam, right? That's
you would love Mexico because they're at 6,000 feet outside the Sierra Madres.
Yeah.
And so what I realized,
I'm gonna end up down there too.
So what I found out the first time I was there is like, oh, what's going on here? The first day I felt a little funky, but I got through it. The second day and every day thereafter, I had massive hemorrhaging from my nose because of the air, the elevation and the dryness. So I already have half my stuff packed, which is saline and Vaseline. I'm gonna pre-lube my nose.
That's funny. Yeah. It's really dry where I live, so we deal with that kind of stuff all the time. But Alicia and I go to Mexico every other year just on vacation. So I got to go, right? It's just one of those things that I got to go down there. I got to do it.
Does Alicia bow hunt?
She does not. She has no aspirations to do it at all. She's like, I'm glad that you do it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do something girly.
Yeah, that's my wife. My wife, Lissa. She just loves that I do this podcast. She loves that I'm in the backyard shooting every day. Yeah. And, she, we're almost 40 years. This is my second marriage.
Yeah.
And she's like, Jesus. She goes, how do we get along for so long? I said, because we're complete polar opposites. I don't want to be hanging out with somebody that's like me. I hate myself, not literally, but I mean, I'm an A-tip. I'm an A-type. And, she's not that. And that's just funny. Fun. It's great. It works out fine. So what, I've looked at your pictures online and I've downloaded a few because I have a man crush. Just kidding. What do you do to stay in shape? High country hiking?
Really? I do. Yeah.
Okay.
And, a lot of body weight stuff. I walk, my buddy Steve and I will go and we'll, put our backpacks on and do the stadiums.
Okay.
But, pretty much that, but every day without fail, I pop down and do 50 push-ups every day. I figure when I can't do that anymore, then I might have a problem, and so I started
just do 25
push-ups. Yeah. But I tell people all the time that are short drawing, right? You'll see, especially, like smaller framed people or females, girls that are having a hard time getting a full draw. I'm like, can you do a push-up? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, work up to doing 10 push-ups and start doing 10 push-ups every day. And the next thing you know, they're drawing all the way back. It's like,
that's it. Build up those back muscles.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, just push-ups. It's all it's perfect archery exercise.
So my exercise, besides the morning stuff with the chairs and stuff, in the evenings is I have an 80-pound lap dog that's 13 years
Oh
old.
wow.
She can't jump up on the bed anymore, so I'm doing powerlifting. Powerlifting at 10 p.m.
Oh
Get her
wow.
on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, then she's fine. But yeah,
Oh
it's
gee.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So traditional archery, I don't know. I've noticed a major uptick, especially with social media, YouTube, and what's out there now. I mean, we didn't have this
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Oh no. I had no idea. Like pre-COVID, I had no idea. I call it my Unabomber years, right? Like
Yeah.
I I had my bow and arrow set up.
Mhm.
I had my broadhead set up. I had my backpack and kit. Like all my shit was 15 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't change it, and I
Probably
just
still,
did
it's
my
probably still good.
it is. I gave a lot of it away now. My it's funny. Alicia, she never asks me finances. She doesn't ask me about my finances. Uh, but she'll come in my office and she'll look around. She's like, I'm not going to ask you how much all this stuff costs, but I know you like nice shit. She's, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, and so,
Yeah.
as long as I take care
Those
of
are
her.
not
So,
pedestrian bows back there.
no,
Those
those
are
are very nice.
very
Those are,
expensive. Yeah.
and I've seen the work you do. You do beautiful work as
Thank
well.
you. Thank you very
So,
much.
but she's like, as long she didn't have to go back to work after COVID. So she lost her job to COVID and she wanted to go to culinary school. And
Mm,
I helped her do that. And she started a home baking business.
fantastic.
So she didn't have to go back to work. So she doesn't really care as long as if I told her that she had to go back to work, that we couldn't make it, I might have to cut back.
So
But
tell Alicia, my son, my youngest boy, Jake,
yeah,
was a pastry or actually baking chef or,
yeah,
an actual uh, artisan, if you will, for Disney
yeah.
Studios.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
then he realized I can make better money as
Yeah.
an accountant. So he got
Oh,
his
yeah.
degree. He got his degree, and now he's an accountant for NASA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, totally
That's
different
interesting.
world. Yeah, flip flop.
Yeah.
He's doing very good.
She
But
she I laugh at her. She's like a little Disney princess down there, It's like she she has all her stuff and she gets to create these. She does amazing work.
oh, I can imagine.
Uh, if you want to go down a rabbit hole and be a virtual fat kid, it's the Real Royal Treats on Instagram. She's got her thing on there,
I'll
and
check it out.
she she does amazing work. She never had to go back to a corporate job. And so if I want to go, like when we went to Kodiak,
Hmm.
we were driving in the car and I had just bought her a new car and she's driving it. And Steve texts me. He goes, "Hey, there's 2 spots open on Homer Ocean Charters. Do you want to go?" And she's like, standard woman response to a text message, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Steve." "Well, what's he want?" "He wants to know if I want to go hunting in Alaska in November." She goes, "Oh, you should go." And I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, you got a
It's,
fever? You got a fever? Yeah.
yeah, no, I just bought her a new car.
Yeah. Well,
So,
yeah.
and so that's the thing. Jerome gets mad at me. He's like, "Our wives cannot hang out because if my wife finds out what you're doing for your wife, well, I'm gonna have a problem."
Yeah, it's
But
okay.
I take her for every vacation I go on. I take her on a vacation,
Yeah.
and then does a girls trip. If I do a guys trip, she does a girls trip. It
Yeah.
works for us, and it's a pretty good thing. But like when we wanted to, she's never told me no to any
Yeah.
of the hunts I wanted to go on. Her thing is, "Do you have the vacation time?" And I'm like, "Yes." "Do you have the money?" "Yes." She's like, "Oh, you should go." So
Hmm.
I've been talking to Jim Ecout about Alaska moose,
Hmm.
and so that's I've been banking my PTO so that I'll be able to take the 4 weeks off.
Same here. I get
It's
6 weeks PTO every year.
uh-huh.
And like, I've already been up north 2 or 3 times. No,
Yeah.
3 times. I've got a cruise in 2 weeks. Then I'm going to Mexico, and then I'm going to Vegas for
Uh-huh.
my middle son's second marriage.
Yeah.
And yeah, so but I still have like 140 hours left. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, where am I going to go after
Yeah.
that? You
Yeah.
know?
I'm just banking my time. And she told me to go. I got contacted by the TV show Alone a couple of years ago.
Mm,
They wanted me to go do that. She's like, go do it. And I'm like, I'd be gone for
why
2 or
not?
3 months. She's like, I don't care. She said, I don't have to clean up after you or cook for you.
I
I'm
got
good.
news for you, dude. Going on these trips, when I come home, I really appreciate my wife and my family
Uh,
tenfold. It's just like, man, I miss you so much. It's just,
uh-huh.
it's a humbling thing because it breaks you
Yeah.
down as a person, because physically
Yeah.
and mentally. You
Yeah.
go through all that entire week of hunting and just that's all you focus on.
Yeah.
And then when you come home, you're like, you know,
Yeah.
that's the way I feel.
Yeah. I dabble in music and
Oh,
I
cool.
write some music and I actually wrote a song and it talks about that. Like no matter where I am in the wilderness and the solitude, the mountains, right? The the sound I hear is you calling me home,
Mm.
right? Is this I wrote the song for her and she's like, that's a bow hunting song. Like I thought it was romantic.
Have her listen to Ted Nugent's Fred Bear song.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
She'll
great
think
song.
differently. Yep.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
here I thought it was
I'm a
romantic.
music guy too. I have my collection of, Koa
Yeah.
wood. I have a Koa Explorer,
Oh,
a
nice.
Gibson Explorer, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's a 58 reissue, and
Wow.
I love it. It's just Koa wood's amazing. I'm gonna have a bow made with that eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's gorgeous. So
so
that's good.
where do you see Bwana in 5 years? What's your plan? What's y'all's plan?
Yeah. You know, the goal is Jerome's talking about retiring from his corporate job in about a year. And so the goal is to get Jerome retired so that he can build full time and then build the company up to the point where I can retire. And then just do that and ride off into the sunset until one of us croaks and we have to make a decision.
Yeah, I get it.
You know? But
Yeah,
I we it's tricky. We're a small builder and we build really high quality bows. There are some other builders out there that pump the bows out and they don't get into the detail that we do. And it's
I know.
like, where's the niche, right? And so, we're never going to be Black Widow or even like what South does now at Stalker. He pumps out so many
It's
bows.
amazing what he
But
does.
we also don't want to give people, a year or two lead time, right? Like we'll have people like if somebody contacts us and tells us, I want a custom bow and this is when I need it, well, we're going to get it to you, and like 6 weeks, like we can do it if we're
Mhm.
motivated,
Right.
right? Um, we have our standard bows. We build a lot of stock bows and then we call them like semi customs where we build it and then we do the final engravings and we ship it to a guy. But if a guy wanted a custom bow, I mean, it's inside 2 months,
Hmm.
and it's as nice as you're going to get. I
Sure.
think
Sure.
Norm might be our finishes aren't we're not to Norm's standard yet, but that's the goal is to produce stuff is at the standard of blacktail,
Mhm.
that shoots as well. We want to build a bow that's as pretty as a black belt that shoots like a wingard, right? And we want to do all of that, but still stay within our vision,
I
which is
think you guys have done that. I've seen your work. I've seen bows in person at shoots and stuff, and I think
yeah.
they're exceptional bows. I wish you guys the best.
I
Absolutely.
really appreciate that. It's fun. We made so many friends out there now, and you build something as personal as a bow for somebody. And like my favorite thing is getting that random text message. It's a picture of somebody with a bow
Dude,
we
yeah,
built
yeah,
them,
yeah, yeah.
and they got their hero pick and they're stoked. And that is the best part. That's better than the money by
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
So yeah, it's really fun.
That's great. That's great. So how can folks get a hold of you and Jerome?
So the easiest way is our email address, which is bowanabows.com is or at Gmail. So BWANA bwanabows@gmail.com. That's the easiest way. Goes to our phones. We get it. My phone number is on my Instagram, the California Trad Bowhunter Instagram page. My cell phone's on there. Guys can text me. They can call me. Jerome's on. We've got the Bwana Bows page on Instagram as well if people want to look at stuff. But if you message either one of us on Instagram, we're going to get right back to you.
Yep.
Email, we'll get back to you within the day. If you text me, I'll probably text you right back. So
awesome. So folks, I will drop the links in the comments below when I do post this thing next week. So look out for that stuff and contact these guys. They make an incredible product. Dude, I want to thank you so much for coming on with me tonight. Technical difficulties aside, I mean, I've had 2 weeks of it, but thanks
No
again.
problem.
Glad to finally physically meet you. Unfortunately, it's virtual.
I appreciate the time to sit down and chat and talk about the company a little bit. And, more importantly, I hope to get some people, I hope people hear this and get excited and buy those Compton tickets.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, check them out, bwanabows.com. Please, for the channel here, Drop Time Traditions Podcast, please subscribe and like. That really gets a lot of help my way and our way, if you will. And by the way, hey, welcome to 2026. Can you believe that?
Might be the first one, eh?
My God. Man, this is the first one for 2026. That's a milestone.
We'll come out of the box swinging.
New Year's Eve, I probably will be in bed by 9:30. We don't do amateur night. We watch movies, eat a lot of food. I think I saw some shrimp in the fridge. And steaks.
That's a good time. So we're not going anywhere either. That's like you called it amateur night. Like, no, we'll stay home.
Yep, absolutely. So guys, I want to wish you all a great thank you for supporting the channel, supporting my people that I interview. And I want you all to have a wonderful 2026 with much health and prosperity and financial success. And above all, take care of each other and love each other. So I want to say thank you to everybody. So, dude, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and tell your wife to bake me a cake. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I have to bake you something. I'll throw some cookies in the mail.
Yeah. All right, man. Take care.
All right, brother.
Happy New Year.
Great one.
All right, you too.
Happy New Year to you.
Bye. Bye.